Listening activity tips. I was one of those teachers who thought students should not be given information about the listening before I played the audio the first time. But I was wrong. In authentic listening situations outside the classroom, the learner will always have clues about the topic of the conversation. If a policeman has pulled them over to the side of the road, they'll know the topic will be about some kind of traffic violation. If they're talking to an admissions officer at a university, they know the topic will be about applying to the school. The point is that we're almost never in a listening situation where we don't have some expectations of what we will be hearing. So why would we do that to students in the classroom? So my first tip for listening activities is get them familiar with the topic beforehand. The best way to do that is through planned pre-listening activities, such as small group discussions where they answer a few questions about the topic, not the specific listening, but the topic. You can also give them the topic and then ask them what they expect to hear. For example, if the setting is two people in a supermarket, learners can make some pretty good guesses about what might be said. If they know the relationship between the two people, they'll understand even more or be able to guess even more. Another important detail learners need is whether there will be any kind of accent by any of the speakers. If they expect to hear average US English, but are listening to an advertisement from Australia, they're unlikely to catch much the first time because of the surprise. My second tip is make sure that the students understand the reason why they will be listening, the purpose for the listening. What's the purpose for them to listen? Some have suggested that even when you replay the audio to give them another chance, you should also give them a different reason for listening. For example, they listen the first time to answer some questions, then perhaps they listen the second time to check their answers. Sometimes students don't understand what they're supposed to be listening for because the instructor fails to simplify their instructions. Always check to make sure that they know what they're supposed to be doing once the recording starts. Another tip is that if you know there are cultural references or idioms in the listening, it's best to pre-teach those. Stumbling over strange or technical vocabulary will not be helpful in developing their long-term listening comprehension. But don't try to teach them every vocabulary term before they listen. Some of them may be understandable through the context, but even if they aren't, teaching too many idioms or cultural phrases before the listening will just cloud the brain with too much information. Focus on key information that may prevent listening comprehension. The last tip is let learners talk about their listening successes and difficulties. After the main listening activity, you may have the learners follow up with a discussion or summary writing. But do you spend time talking about where they had difficulties in the listening? Do you help them understand that it's normal to stumble over certain areas? During these troubleshooting times after listening will be your best opportunities for teaching listening strategies in meaningful contexts. You can also do this once a week or so with their authentic experiences. Let them talk with each other and you about their difficulties and successes outside the classroom and make those into teachable moments for everyone. In review, before students listen, make them aware of the topic and relevant speaker information, such as age or accents. Give them a purpose for their listening and make sure they have a clear understanding of it before they play the audio, before you play the audio. Pre-teach idioms or cultural references that learners will need to know for complete comprehension. And let students discuss and troubleshoot their listening experiences.